Hello crafty friends, this is the Papered Chef here. Last night my YouTube channel reached over 7,000 subscribers. Today I'm feeling very blessed and lucky. Thank you all for being my viewers, and I hope that I can keep living up to your expectations. In today's tutorial, I would like to show you how to create shamrocks using your brother ScanNCut. The three types of shamrocks we'll be creating are, first we're going to be using the built-in shapes and patterns to create a shamrock right from the brother ScanNCut. Then we're going to scan in stamped images, and I'll show you the products I use. And then we're going to create shamrocks out of vinyl. In addition, because my channel is all about Stampin' Up! Products and brother ScanNCut and craft fair ideas, I thought I could incorporate all three of those into this St. Patrick's Day special video. So stick around till the end because I'm going to show you 5 original projects that I created with the help of the brother ScanNCut that you can use to give to people this St. Patrick's Day or just to wish them good luck in general. Let's get started. We're going to turn on your ScanNCut and you're going to go to pattern. And you're going to choose the second icon. Then you're going to choose the first one, which is the little planet and the flower. Okay, scroll down and click that and then scroll down. And you're going to see that there's a 4-leaf clover or a shamrock. Okay, and you're just going to go ahead and say okay. And say okay again. And set it onto the mat, and then we'll resize it, because then you get a better idea. I think it's easier to resize something once it's on the mat, because you get a better idea of how many will fit on the papers that you're going to be using. Okay, so let's just select it, go into the editing mode, and resize it to be about 2.5 inches tall. Okay, so let me just use this finger. Okay, and let's say okay. And I think that's a good size. Now you could, at this point I could have made a few more. Let's just make 3 for the sake of timing. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time cutting out each one because I really want to get to the projects part. So let's just make 3 of those. And then I want to talk about the cardstock I'm using. So I'm using a piece of, let me just pull my machine back. I'm using a piece of Garden Green cardstock by Stampin' Up. It's a nice thick cardstock. My mat's very sticky because my last video was about resticking mats, and I restuck all my mats. And now I'm just going to go ahead and cut these 3 out on this cardstock. So because I'm using Stampin' Up! Cardstock, I need a blade depth of 5 on a standard cutting blade. All the other settings are just at their defaults. We're going to say okay, we're going to say okay, we're going to cut, and we're just going to hit start. Of course, one thing, we did have to load the mat, which I'll show you on the next part. Usually I'm used to doing this to keep my mat from slipping, but my mat's very sticky. Okay, here's some shamrocks I've made using the brother ScanNCut with a couple different shades of green. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to unload the mat. Earlier we would have loaded the mat, so now I'm just going to show you how to unload the mat. Okay, now to take these shamrocks off the mat, you just lift your cardstock. Oh, I love the sound of a sticky mat. How fun. Okay, we're going to bend the mat a little bit, and off they come. And there is a little cut in my mat, but that's not from the shamrock. That's just from using it a lot. Okay, so now we have 3 of those. Now those were built in, and later I'll show you just one I have that I got from the Brother Canvas workspace. Okay, but next I want to show you how to cut out stamped images using your brother ScanNCut. Okay, so we have our cardstock, and now we're going to use what's called Whisper White cardstock by Stampin' Up. And I just like to use my painter's tape to make sure that sticks on the mat really well. Okay, prior to this tutorial, I did stamp these in Memento Black, and the reason I use Memento Black by Stampin' Up is because we have these incredible markers. The markers are called the blends. They're alcohol markers. And that's why I use the Memento Black, because it doesn't run when you use the blends. Okay, the stamp set I'm using is in our occasions catalog. You have only 1 month left to purchase any products from this catalog. It's called Amazing Life. Later on, when I show you the craft fair projects that I made, I will show you how I use this good luck stamp as well. But I didn't cut it out with the Brother ScanNCut, but I do have tutorials on cutting out sentiments using your Brother ScanNCut. So right now I'm using, there it is, right there. I'm using this 4-leaf clover. And I'm just going to show you at the bottom of this is a project in our catalog as an example. So this is the Occasions catalog by Stampin' Up. I'm very proud to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator. And so I get the best of both worlds. I have an awesome scan and cut machine, and I also have awesome craft products to use. All right, so I'm going to load the mat. I'm putting my hand on the mat. I have to say, by the way, it just asked me, am I finished cutting? Yes. I'm going to load the mat. And now I'm going to return home. Okay, because we don't need these Shamrocks anymore. Now you know where they're at. I just wanted my crafty friends to know that you can, without even hooking up to your computer, there's already something you can do right inside your Brother ScanNCut for St. Patrick's Day. I'm going to go home. Can't delete all patterns. Now I'm going to say scan, direct cut, and we're going to save this temporarily to our machine. Okay, I'm going to hit start. Direct cut is because we are not going to save the Clovers, the Shamrocks. We're just going to directly cut them out. Because I like the size that they are, especially for coloring. They're perfect little, cute little size. So it's recognizing the stamped images. And those of you who have been with me for a long time already know how to do this. Okay, now we're going to say okay. Now look at all the little dots all over my mat. In fact, let me just zoom my camera in so you can see. See all those little dots? I'm going to zoom back out. That is dirt on my mat. Okay, we want to just go here to this ignore object size, and we can get rid of a lot of those little specks. Okay, that's one way to get rid of them. Another way, I'm just ignoring the very small ones. Another way is just to go ahead and select the area you want, like that. And that's another way to get rid of a lot of the extra things that were selected. And then the next thing I want to do, the third way, by the way, is to edit those out. So we can edit them out if there are still any little specks left after the two ways I showed you. So let's see. I would like to put an outline distance around these, and this is what that would look like. There's a little white space around these. So I'm going to go here and select 0.04. 0.04. Okay, there we go. Say okay. Say okay. Now, we are going to change from, we just cut cardstock, Garden Green. Now we're going to cut Whisper White cardstock. Whisper White is not the thickest of Stampin' Up's cardstock. We now need a 4. This is the regular Whisper White cardstock. They do make a thick Whisper White, but I'm using the regular one, and that's why I'm using a blade depth of 4. So we've changed it to 4. Now we're going to say cut, and we're going to say start. And we're going to cut out the stamped images. Notice I'm using painter's tape to hold them on just to make sure they don't slip. Okay, now that's it. You already have 2 tutorials now in one, and now we're going to have 3 tutorials in one because now we're going to cut vinyl. Let's unload the mat. Let's say okay, and here we go. Let's see these stamped images. And I don't know if I even cut it. Oh, I did cut them all. I wasn't even paying attention, but it did select all 6. By the way, if it doesn't ever select all of your stamped images, never fear. All you need to do is just put your stamped images on another part of the mat, and it will get them all next time. But this time it was 100% success. I bend the mat a little bit, and that's how I get them off. And I also have a little spatula that came with it. I'm just not using that right now because I have a lot of crafts on my table, a lot of craft fair items I want to show you, so I just didn't do that. So great job on the stamped images, and I'm going to show you how I colored these in just a little bit. Okay, moving on to vinyl. Let's move this out of the way. There's vinyl right there. That's how I personalized my machine. I also personalized my coffee mugs, and I do teach how to do this in more detail, including iron-ons and vinyl in my advanced Brother ScanNCut class course on Udemy. Okay, it'll be linked below. Okay, but let's get back on track. Adhesive craft vinyl. I got this from Brother. I got it from Brother. I use two kinds of vinyl. Sometimes I use the Cricut vinyl, sometimes I use the one from Brother. This one's from Brother. It's a nice green for St. Patrick's Day, right? So now I cut off a 2-inch strip. You could just roll the vinyl on there, but I just cut off 2-inch pieces because I know my shamrocks are not going to be any more than that, and I'm just attaching the vinyl to the top of the mat, and that's as simple as that. Vinyl sticks pretty well because it's plastic. It has like a plastic background, and it sticks pretty well. Okay, let me just load the mat, and now I'm going to show you how to cut vinyl. Now I already have vinyl stored in my machine, and I'll tell you how I got that while it's in just a minute. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back home and delete all patterns, and we're just going to load the mat. Move the machine closer. Load the mat. Many of my viewers ask me about vinyl, and they think there's this big mystery to it. Okay, and oh no, I'm afraid to cut vinyl. Well, vinyl is the same as cutting anything. In fact, I'm leaving my settings all the same. Watch, I'm not changing any of my settings. They're at their defaults. I'm not even touching that little wrench. All I'm going to do, and this is all I'm doing. No trickery here. You're watching me. This is not. I'm not stopping editing this video. I am literally just changing the blade depth to a 1.5. That is all I'm doing, crafty friends. So please don't get scared of cutting vinyl. But there is a lot to it when you cut. When I do teach about the vinyl, like there's a lot to getting fonts off of your computer and writing things in vinyl. But when you just have a shape or a pattern, there's really nothing to cutting vinyl. And it's even really easy to transfer. All right, so I'm going into pattern, and I happen to have the pattern saved on my computer. Okay, I'm just going to go to save data. And I'm going to tell you where I got it, but let me just retrieve it. It's on my computer, and it's probably on the last page. Yeah, there are my shamrocks. You're going to see why I'm using this shape in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to just cut these in vinyl, and let's start. And in the description, I'll tell you the exact file on Brother where I got this. This is a free file from Brother, by the way. I just happen to have them saved because I wanted them all in a row. Okay, with vinyl, I'm going to stand back so it's not so loud, so I can talk to you about the vinyl. With vinyl, you want to do what's called a kiss cut. That means that it's going to cut through the top of the vinyl, but not through the back. Okay, that's a kiss cut. So 1 was not deep enough, and 2 was too deep where it cut through the plastic on the back. So this was a good blade depth of 1.5. Sorry the machine is so loud. Maybe someday when I get a Brother ScanNCut DX, I will get to enjoy the whisper quiet technology that they claim. If anybody has a DX, let me know how quiet it really is. Okay, so we have cut our vinyl. Sorry for all the noise, and I will definitely be typing up a lot of notes. So do not worry if you didn't get to hear everything I'm saying. But I did, just to reiterate, I was talking about a kiss cut where you only cut through the vinyl and not the backing. Okay, we're going to say okay and unload the mat. Now I'm done with the ScanNCut, so let me just move that away. And the name of the file that I'm using is a St. Patrick's Day card. That's what I'm using. And in the card project at Brother Canvas Workspace online, there are shamrocks, okay? And so you can use the shamrocks. Now what you normally do with vinyl, if I was teaching you about like cutting out like words like this, I would talk about using what's called transfer tape. And it's a way to align all of the things onto another place. But since we're not doing that, we're just cutting out shapes. They just work like a sticker. And I just have to peel it so you can see it because it's it's a kiss cut. So I mean, you'd only cut through the vinyl and not the other part. So I have to, and with my reading glasses, I'm like, where is it? Okay, you know what I do is if I just take the backing off, then I'll be left with all the shamrocks, and my crafty friends can see it. See, that's even easier. Okay, so that's easier. Now I could show you what I do with these. So I'm just peeling. I'm peeling the back off, and if this was a real intricate design, you'd be using what's called weeding tools and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, that's enough for now because I respect your time and I don't want to peel shamrocks all night. Let's get to what I do with these shamrocks. So, came up with this idea. for St. Patrick's Day. This is project number 1. And I just took, these are M&Ms, and I put them in these little jars that I got from AC Moore, and they're like wedding party favors. Okay, wedding party favors. And so they're just cute little jars, and you can decorate them with vinyl and things. And what I like to use vinyl and magnets on top of them because people can then reuse them for other things. So I'm just going to peel this little vinyl sticker off and put it on top of my jar. And not only that, it matches the M&Ms really well. Like this color of vinyl from Brother, not from Cricket, from Brother, is the exact size, exact color of the M&M's green. And so I'm using the colors of Ireland. I'm not even Irish, but you know what? On St. Patrick's Day, we all are, right? So it's just something really fun with the leprechauns and rainbows and good luck and all that. Okay, so that's what I'm doing with that. So I'm going to show you the rest of this idea for the project. So I made a bunch of these shamrocks, and I have some jars with Skittles, which are also the perfect color. Some jars with Tic Tacs, orange and green Tic Tacs. Again, perfect matching color. Okay, and then I had a couple other variations of this because I thought I filled some jars with jelly beans. These are Jelly Belly jelly beans, by the way. And I said, these are not the same color of green, are they? These are darker green. So instead, I used the garden green paper, and I made magnets. Okay. The other day, maybe I don't know if it was a week or 2 ago, on one of my tutorials, I showed you how to cut out car magnets using the Brother ScanNCut. So what I did is for this project is I cut out magnetic material and I stick it on top of the jar. That way they can either leave it on the jar, reuse the jar, use this as a refrigerator magnet or what have you. So those are jelly beans. And then I did that with the M&M jars too. Okay. And here's some more. Tic Tacs, jelly beans. Okay. And so now I just want to show you the second. So that was the first project. And the second project is taking, and by the way, these are stamped images. I'll get to that in a second. It's taking the same thing. It's taking like this same jar, but it's putting it in a cute little box. And this is how I'm going to be gifting these little jars to people, is in these boxes. So what I did is I just stamped around the boxes. These are just party favor boxes again. I'm using Happy St. Patrick's Day because this is how I roll. I use whatever's in my craft arsenal. This is a retired stamp set. I hate to say it's retired, so you can't get it anymore, but it is Happy St. Patrick's Day from this Teeny Tiny Wishes. So maybe some of my crafty friends have this stamp set and can use it, or use whatever you have. And then when you open up the box, which I put vinyl on top, then you have your little jar with more vinyl on top, right? And the little, which one are these? Skittles with some little Easter grass inside. You just get green Easter grass that matches as well. And that way the jar doesn't break if you're shipping it. Okay, and let's see what's in this one. Same thing. Okay, so that's just the project. That's the second project idea, is how to decorate the boxes. So a couple tips on that is, let me find, I had a couple here, there. So what I did for the boxes is like I stamped them all while they were flat. So you have a party favor box and you stamp it while it's flat. That way, and even put the vinyl sticker on while it's flat, because it's just easier. And then to put these together, it doesn't get any easier than that. These are just those kind of boxes that you just go boop, 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 sound effects. I teach my 5-year-old kids in the craft club how to do this. They know how to put together these kind of boxes. So anyone can put together a box like this. And the top one you sort of flip out so it tucks in easier. And there's your box. Okay, so I'll be putting all of this stuff inside these boxes. Now these little stickers are just little stickers from American Greetings. I'm going to show you, I put these in the goodie bags as well. So I just used the little Shamrock stickers on the front, and these are some other ones from American Greetings. Which brings me to project number 3 of my St. Patrick's Day special, and that is goodie bags. I made these for a whole class, and these are those same stickers I just showed you from American Greetings, the Shamrocks we cut out with the Brother ScanNCut, stamps from the Amazing Day stamp set by Stampin' Up, and the Teeny Tiny Wishes, stickers from American Greetings, and all kinds of little candy, toys, erasers, lollipops, and Cheez-Its. And these little straws, I put some little shamrocks on top of the straw. I always like to tell my crafty friends where I got things. I found out from my stats in YouTube that 73% of my viewers are from America, so that's pretty cool. And 98% are women. What do American women do? We like to shop, and we go to this store called Tuesday Morning. So I'm showing you where I got these. These cool little straws are from Tuesday Morning, and I use the green ones as the toppers in these St. Patrick's Day bags. Okay, so you just, now to get these little tiny shamrocks, I could have just used my brother's ScanNCut. You just make your shamrock smaller. However, I happen to have a punch for that, and this punch is a really hard punch to use, so I can't let the craft kids use it, but I do cut those out for them, and then with the punch, and then I give everyone some. And I also use this for table confetti, and when you send care packages, you just sort of toss it all in there at the end, and it's really fun. And you can cut some of those out in gold. Okay, goodie bags was project number 3. I'm saving my best project for last, as I usually do. I gotta make room on my table. You guys are like, you are a messy crafter. All right, so the 4th project is M&Ms. They're called, I just call them like M&Ms treats, or M&Ms like some kids call them M&M sticks. These are really hot sellers at craft fairs, no matter what toppers I put on them, because the kids are always like, Mom, I want one of those, because they can see it. So that's why it's really like an easy seller. Okay, so this one just says good luck, and it has the shamrocks that we cut out using the Brothers ScanNCut. And then I just used, let's see what colors I used. Okay, this is pumpkin pie, the orange inside. And then these were some, it's garden green, and it's designer series paper. Okay, and I'll have a whole list of all my materials. But then inside, oh, here it is, here they are. I used some blends markers, and I used shaded spruce, and it seemed to match really well, so I was happy with that. And that's why you have that light to dark. And they're not really quite dry yet, but they blend even better, but there's a light inside the shamrocks and dark on the outside. Okay, so I wanted to but share something really, really cool. Okay, today, Stampin' Up! Released a new product. It's March 1st. Today's March 1st. I hope this uploads because sometimes I have technical difficulties. But it's called Story Label Punch. Okay, so the Story Label Punch is like that, and it's just really, really cool. So that's what I use to make these. Okay, so please check that out. And the celebration's going on for 1 more month, meaning anytime you spend $50 or more, you get a free product. Okay, one of the free products you can get is So Happy Together. Okay, that's one of the free things. I'm going to show you what I did with this set right now, what I did with it, and how it relates to St. Patrick's Day and this special. Okay, one of my viewers actually say, please make some St. Patrick's Day nuggets. So I'll be like, hey, I finally did that. Okay, I'm always making nugget treats. This time they're a little different. I mean, they're way different than what I usually do, because I usually have 5 treats in a tray, and I usually wrap them in different designer series paper. But I thought, heck, you know what? The nuggets already are gold. So I was like, I'm not going to unwrap them all. I'm going to leave them unwrapped. So here's what I came up with. I took the Story Label Punch. Let me just put these there so they're not shaking. My camera only focuses when something is still, and so if I keep shaking my hands, and that's why sometimes things are out of focus, and I'm sorry about that. All right, now my camera's shaking. So we know about the Story Label Punch, and this is garden green, cardstock, garden green stamp, and shaded spruce coloring with the blends. And then I think that was lemon lime twist in the tummy. So these little frogs, I have done a tutorial on this. I did a tutorial on cutting out stamped images using the Brothers ScanNCut, and the title of that video will be So Happy Together, because that's the name of the stamp set. And then I took the clovers that we just created, the Shamrocks clovers, and we just cut out. That's what I used here. You know I used a punch. Then I used this in color designer series paper for the trays. I made 3-inch trays, and I'll have some instructions on my blog about how I score the trays and things like that. And then I wrapped the middle one with designer series paper as well, but left a couple out that were gold, because I think that kind of matches St. Patrick's Day even better. Okay, and then I just popped these up with dimensionals. So I hope you liked my 5 projects that I showed you that you can use for gift giving or craft fairs. And I hope you see how I incorporate the Stampin' Up! Products into the Brothers ScanNCut, and how if you have really high quality products, you can pretty much coordinate all of your projects together and make some really amazing things. So thank you for watching. Feel free to comment or ask questions below. And until next time, this is the Papered Chef.